Mati now in Synchrony. Astronomical cycles. Approximately 4.5 billion years ago, a Mars-sized object, known as Theia, collided with the early Earth. The impact was so violent that part of Earth's mantle was ejected into space. Over time, this material began orbiting the planet, eventually consolidating to form the Moon. But this collision did more than create the Moon. It altered Earth's axis of rotation, tilting it to exactly 23.5 degrees. And that 23.5-degree angle is the reason seasons exist, why we experience solstices and equinoxes, and why the cycles that regulate all life on this planet are possible. The angle that changed everything. If Earth had no axial tilt, if it rotated perfectly upright relative to its orbit around the Sun, there would be no seasons. Every location on the planet would receive the same amount of sunlight year-round. The equator would always be warm. The poles would always be cold, and nothing would change. But Earth is tilted, and that tilt means that as Earth orbits the Sun, different regions of the planet receive varying amounts of sunlight at different times of the year. When the northern hemisphere tilts toward the Sun, it is summer in the north and winter in the south. 6 months later, when the southern hemisphere tilts toward the Sun, it is summer in the south and winter in the north. At the intermediate points, when neither hemisphere is tilted toward the Sun, equinoxes occur, moments when day and night are of equal length across the entire planet. These 4 points, 2 solstices and 2 equinoxes, define the 4 seasons of the year, and they represent the moments of greatest energetic calibration of the planet. Solar and lunar cycles. The Sun governs the external cycle. Earth takes approximately 365 days to complete one full orbit around the Sun. This is the solar year, naturally divided into 4 seasons by the solstices and equinoxes. The Moon, by contrast, governs the internal cycle. It takes approximately 29.5 days to complete a full sequence of phases, from new moon to first quarter, full moon, last quarter, and back to new moon. If you divide 365 days by 29.5 days, you obtain approximately 12.4 lunar cycles per year. This is why 2 natural calendars coexist. The solar calendar, 12 months of approximately 30 days, divided into 4 seasons. This is the calendar of the external world, action, structure, manifestation. The lunar calendar, 13 moons of 28 days each. This is the calendar of the internal world, emotion, gestation, integration. Both calendars are real. Both operate simultaneously, and both calibrate different dimensions of consciousness. Eclipses, when the 2 cycles meet. An eclipse occurs when the Sun, Earth, and Moon align in a straight line. When the Moon passes between the Sun and the Earth, a solar eclipse occurs. The Moon blocks the Sun's light, casting its shadow. Onto Earth, for a brief moment, day turns into night. When the Earth passes between the Sun and the Moon, a lunar eclipse occurs. Earth's shadow covers the Moon, often tinting it red. Eclipses are moments when the 2 cycles, the solar and the lunar, the external and the internal, the yo and the soy, meet and align. For this reason, eclipses have always been regarded as moments of power, moments of transmutation, moments when something can shift state. During solar eclipses, the internal, the Moon, blocks the external, the Sun. This is a time for introspection, review, and correction. During lunar eclipses, the external, the Sun, illuminates the internal, the Moon, through Earth's shadow. This is a time of integration, revelation, and transformation when poison becomes medicine. How life was designed around these cycles. Life on Earth has been synchronizing with these cycles for billions of years. The earliest oceanic organisms responded to tides, which are produced by the Moon's gravitational pull on water. Every 29.5 days, tidal patterns shift and organisms evolve to feed, reproduce, and move according to those rhythms. When life emerged from the oceans and colonized land, it began to respond to seasons, a direct result of Earth's axial tilt and its orbit around the Sun. Plants learn to germinate in spring, grow in summer, bear fruit in autumn, and rest in winter. Animals, including humans, synchronize reproduction, migration, hibernation, and activity with these rhythms. For millions of years, Earth's biology was designed in direct relationship with astronomical cycles. The collective subconscious of life on Earth is written in the language of lunations, solstices, equinoxes, and eclipses. These cycles are our mental clock. They are not cultural constructs. They are not learned behaviors. They are biological patterns encoded in DNA. Why recalibration is necessary? Modern humanity has become disconnected from these cycles. We live in cities where artificial light erases the night, where work calendars ignore the seasons, where production and consumption rhythms bear no relationship to natural cycles. This disconnection has a cost. The human body still operates according to internal rhythms. The pineal gland still produces melatonin based on light and darkness. Hormones continue to fluctuate in relation to lunar cycles. The nervous system still responds to seasonal changes. But when the external world no longer reflects these rhythms, the body becomes dysregulated. The mind loses clarity. Emotion destabilizes. Action loses coherence. This is why recalibration is necessary, to resynchronize the internal clock with the external one, to realign biology with astronomical cycles. The triple calendar, solar, lunar, and eclipse. The project operates with a triple calendar, 3 simultaneous ways of measuring time that function together like a musical score for consciousness. The solar calendar marks the notes of external alchemy. Solstices and equinoxes are moments of peak calibration, points where Earth's axis aligns in specific ways with the sun, opening energetic portals for collective transformation. The lunar calendar marks the notes of internal alchemy. Lunations, the 29.5-day cycles from new moon to new moon, form the steps between one solstice and the next. Each new moon is a moment of planting. Each full moon is a moment of harvest. The eclipse calendar marks shifts in tonality, moments of transmutation, when poison becomes medicine, when the third eye of humanity is activated, and when the two clocks, the solar and lunar, the external and internal, align. Together, these 3 calendars form the architecture of conscious time. Holi Nada, collective calibration. The major gatherings of collective calibration are called Holi Nada. The word holy evokes the sacred, the moment of transmutation, the opening through which something passes from one state into another. The word nada means emptiness, but it also refers to the primordial musical tone, the sound that contains all sounds. Holi Nada is therefore the sacred aperture where sound dissolves in order to recalibrate the pineal gland. These gatherings take place during solstices and equinoxes, at strategic locations on the planet. They function as collective resets, attunements of the human hive. Through sound, frequency, chanting, and silence, the pineal gland is calibrated. The internal axis is adjusted, and the body is synchronized with the movement of the planet. This adjustment is not only individual, it is collective. When thousands of people synchronize simultaneously with natural cycles, a field of coherence is generated that sustains the entire network. The birthday, the beginning of the personal count. There is one fundamental point. Solstices, equinoxes, and eclipses are moments of collective calibration. They allow humanity to synchronize together. But for each individual, the personal count begins on their birthday. A birthday is not merely a social celebration. It is the moment when the sun returns to the exact position it occupied at the moment of birth. It is the completion of a full personal cycle and the beginning of a new one. Each person carries an internal calendar that begins at birth. This personal calendar synchronizes with the collective calendar through solstices, equinoxes, lunations, and eclipses. When time is lived this way, it ceases to feel linear and meaningless. It becomes a spiral, each cycle leading deeper, clearer, and more aligned. Earth as a time machine. Earth is not merely a planet. It is a time machine. It rotates at 1,670 kilometers per hour. It orbits the sun at 107,000 kilometers per hour. It tilts 23.5 degrees. It holds a moon that generates tides. All of this movement creates cycles. And those cycles are the structure of time itself. To synchronize with this time machine is to synchronize with life. When a person lives according to natural cycles, the body functions better, the mind becomes clearer, emotion stabilizes, and action gains coherence. Because alignment with the planet is alignment with life. The recalibration that begins now. In 2026, a process of deep recalibration begins. 92 cycles of 13 days will be traversed, one for each element of the periodic table. Each cycle will be synchronized with astronomical cycles. Lunations will guide internal processes. Solstices and equinoxes will anchor collective calibration. Eclipses will mark moments of transmutation. Those who participate will synchronize their personal clock with the planetary clock, recalibrating their biology with the cycles that shaped life itself. Because when the internal clock is aligned with the external one, consciousness finds its rhythm. And when consciousness finds its rhythm, it can create. Welcome to the cycles of conscious time.